yourself a big pop bottle and get it clean. And then what you do is you put just a little bit of water in the bottom of this pop bottle, and you swirl it around vigorously. Okay? And what you're doing here, now if we start to think about what's going on here, what you're doing is you're now introducing moisture, and that will be one of the first constituents of a cloud. You see, that's another difference between the contrail and the cloud thing, okay, that I didn't even talk about, but it's absolutely fundamental. You have the existence of moisture. Okay? In the contrail thing, you didn't have any moisture needed there at all. All you had to do was introduce heated air into a cold environment. So you're already different to start with in terms of the physics of what's going on. So you take this pop bottle, you put a little bit of water in it, and you close it up, and you swish it around. Okay, shake it real vigorously. What you're doing is getting water vapor within that container. Now, the next thing you do is at the crux of what it is we're talking about tonight. And what he has you do is he has you take a match, a lighted match, okay, and you open the top real quickly, and you drop in the match into the water, and you seal it up right away. Now, when you drop the match in the water, you get what? The water extinguishes the match, and you get some smoke. Now, I'm hoping maybe you can start to see where this leads, but by you introducing that match, or just that momentary second in there, you have created smoke, and the smoke is the particulate matter. Smoke is actually composed of solid materials. Remember when I said these things were small, the cloud nuclei, condensation nuclei were small? Well, they're really small, and that's what I'm talking about. And smoke reproduces that physical element of the cloud formation that we're speaking of tonight. It's not big enough to where you can get your hands on it or grab it, but it is extremely fine particulate matter that has been introduced into that simulated atmosphere that we have created that also has moisture in it. And then what he has you do next, and this is somewhat of the part that I was missing in my studies over the year, which is another. Those two they're the most important elements, I would say, but there's a third that's also very important to understanding the dynamics of what's going on in terms of why they're forming, why are clouds forming where they are. And this has to do with pressure. And what he has you do is he has you squeeze this plastic bottle. Okay? And when you squeeze it and release it, you're going to see the appearance of a cloud or no cloud, depending on the pressure change from you squeezing or releasing the pressure on this bottle. And what this guy has done for you is demonstrate the necessary physical elements and components of cloud formation in the most direct way that I have ever run into in over 12 years of work regarding all the manipulation and bastardization of language that has taken place. This is it. This is what a cloud is about. And what do you have there? You have moisture at a sufficient level. Okay, that's an issue in itself. That level is about to 70% or greater. Doesn't have to be 100%, but about 70% moisture or greater. You're introducing moisture. You're introducing particulate matter. It is necessary that for a cloud to form that you have solid material in the sky. This is the point I'm trying to make. But what are these critical and crucial elements? And if you have this understanding, what's the point of tonight? The point of tonight is that if you understand this and you know it to be true, which you now will have the ability to go prove for yourself, you go get the book. Okay, you do it if need be. I arrived at it from a theoretical point over several years of work, and this guy eventually encapsulated that, which I knew. but in a much simpler way. But you have moisture, you have particulate matter, and you have pressure differentials. And what he's saying here on pressure is that if you squeeze the bottle, that cloud will disappear. It will go away. And then when you release it, the cloud will come back. And what happens here, this explains why the clouds are not at ground level most of the time. Because increased pressure is increasing heat. And increased heat is allowing for the atmosphere to hold more moisture, so it doesn't condense out, you see. And then when the pressure decreases, it holds less heat, and therefore the cloud will form. Now, there should be, if we accept this, there should be no, let's say, confusion or misunderstanding, which, by the way, there has been and continues to be, Andrew, by the way, there continues to be confusion and obfuscation of this issue by many parties, both those who, let's say, might claim to be in a knowledgeable part of research, as well as those representing an authoritative point of view. Okay. If we understand this, you can communicate this. And that's your task, right? Your task is to challenge those that lie. Your task is to speak the truth. And some of you might think it's simple, but it's not simple in terms of what it takes to arrive at that knowledge. And this is why you are able to, why there is allowable, continued disinformation, miscommunication, and obfuscation of this issue. I can go find a dictionary for you which has now altered the definition of a contrail and starts to call it now a cloud. This is a type of thing that I'm speaking of. Alright? So you cannot say that it is not going on and that everybody knows about it, because they don't. So, I guess on the other side, have some fun. Have some fun with the knowledge and the idea, and give it a whirl if you'd like. And if we, that's the end of the discussion on the cloud business. Okay. Again, save your questions if you can till the end, because I'm going to try to leave some time for you. But I hope you find that as interesting as I do. And basically, stop allowing people to bowl you over. Okay? And these so-called authorities that mix up this language and use terms interchangeably. And if you ever look at those statements carefully, you will find them lacking in specifics across the board. I've looked at every one of those, and any time you actually get down to a specific that you need, it's never there. And that comes even from that combined effort with those four federal agencies. That language was so generic and butchered, but they accomplished their job. Okay, they got out there and they confused plenty of people. And it upsets me, as you might imagine.